The space race was one of the most defining aspects of the Cold War, a technological and ideological battle between the United States of America and the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics that played out beyond Earth's atmosphere. This competition was not merely about scientific achievement, but also about demonstrating the superiority of one political system over another. As both superpowers sought dominance, space became the ultimate frontier for proving their military, technological, and economic capabilities. From the launch of Sputnik in 1957 to the Apollo moon landings and beyond, the space race reshaped global politics, science, and human ambition. The origins of the space race can be traced back to World War II and the development of rocket technology. Both the United States of America and the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics recruited German scientists after the war, particularly those who had worked on Nazi Germany's V-2 rocket program. The most notable of these was Wernher von Braun, who played a key role in developing the American space program. Meanwhile, Soviet engineers, led by Sergei Korolev, worked to advance their own rocketry capabilities. As Cold War tensions escalated, both nations realized that control of space could provide not only propaganda victories but also military advantages, particularly in the development of intercontinental ballistic missiles. The first major event of the space race came on October 4, 1957, when the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics shocked the world by launching Sputnik 1, the first artificial satellite. This small, beeping sphere orbited the Earth, demonstrating Soviet technological prowess and igniting panic in the United States of America. If the Soviets could launch a satellite, they could potentially launch nuclear weapons from space. In response, the United States of America accelerated its space efforts, leading to the creation of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration in 1958. The American response was initially slow, with early rocket failures embarrassing the nation on the global stage. However, the United States of America soon caught up, and the competition intensified. The Soviets continued to lead in the early years of the space race, achieving several firsts. In 1961, cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin became the first human in space aboard Vostok 1, a monumental achievement that further cemented Soviet dominance. Yuri Gagarin's journey around the Earth was a massive propaganda victory for the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics and prompted President John Fitzgerald Kennedy to make a bold commitment. The United States of America would land a man on the moon before the decade was out. This declaration set the stage for the Apollo program, the most ambitious space exploration effort ever undertaken. Throughout the 1960s, the United States of America and the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics continued their technological duel. The Soviets pioneered spacewalks, multi-person crews, and long-duration missions, while the National Aeronautics and Space Administration focused on perfecting the techniques necessary for lunar exploration. The Gemini program tested critical maneuvers like space rendezvous and docking, while the Apollo program pushed the limits of human spaceflight. After years of setbacks and tragic failures, including the Apollo 1 disaster, the United States of America finally achieved its goal. On July 20, 1969, Apollo 11 astronauts Neil Alden Armstrong and Edwin Eugene Aldrin, JRB, became the first humans to walk on the moon, fulfilling John Fitzgerald Kennedy's promise and delivering a symbolic victory for the United States of America. Despite the American moon landings, the space race did not end immediately. The Soviets continued their space efforts, focusing on space stations like Salyut and later Mir, which paved the way for long-term human habitation in space. The United States of America, while reducing its lunar missions, pursued new goals, including the development of the space shuttle. By the 1970s, Cold War tensions had begun to ease slightly, leading to cooperative efforts like the Apollo-Soyuz test project in 1975, where American and Soviet spacecraft docked in orbit, symbolizing a brief thaw in relations. The space race ultimately transformed human civilization. It spurred rapid advancements in technology, from satellite communications to medical imaging, and inspired generations to pursue careers in science and engineering. More importantly, it demonstrated the potential of human ingenuity and ambition. While the Cold War competition between the United States of America and the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics was often hostile, their rivalry in space drove humanity to achieve milestones once thought impossible. Today, as nations and private companies push further into space, the legacy of the space race continues to shape our future among the stars.